That's correct, Michelle. I'm now in Kayamandi township here in Stellenbosch, and the fire initially destroyed about 300 homes here in this section of Kayamandi on the 6th of April. So it's been about 10 days since people have been trying to rebuild their homes and their lives. Now this morning we were at a community center in Kayamandi where the Deputy Minister for Home Affairs was here, and he was essentially fast-tracking the application for ID documents for residents who essentially lost all their possessions in this area of Kayamandi. They would need these IDs to vote, but also for simple things like opening bank accounts and various other day-to-day activities that need some form of identification. But more concerning is that the Human Settlements Department has not yet delivered material. So while some people have been able to build homes and shacks again here in Zone 0, as it's called in Kayamandi, others are still waiting for help. I've got the ward councillor now to give us more information on what exactly is happening in that regard. He did say to us that the municipality has been able to help a bit, but it's really the Human Settlements Department that has not yet come through with the materials that people need to rebuild their shacks. Let's now talk to the ward councillor here in the area. Let's go to Ayanda Tomeso. Mr. Tomeso, I've spoken to you twice in this area around the rebuilding of shacks. What's the latest update?
Thank you very much. Yes, we have been speaking for several times, and people have been, complaining about, the materials that they have not received yet. Unfortunately, it was not in our hands, and we were waiting for the National Human Settlements Department to deliver. They have actually confirmed that they will deliver tomorrow.
And they've been communicating with you at the municipality?
Yes, they have been communicating with the municipality and us as local councillors, and giving us an update as to how far and then they've confirmed to be delivering tomorrow.
Tell me about the municipality's role. Has the municipality done anything yet to help residents?
Yes, on Friday last week, when the residents went to the municipality and they were frustrated with the delay of the materials, we tried to give at least 70 out of the 212. So we have been trying, and then also yesterday and today they are going to receive their mattresses and blankets. So what we normally give, we have been giving to them, and the breakfast and supper every day has been happening in the past 10 days.
Now, Mr. Tomeso, I think what's important to understand here is that this has been declared a national disaster, because on the 6th of April there was a fire, 2,000 people were displaced. The next day, on the 7th of April when we were here, the wind started picking up and started storming. We had very adverse weather conditions the Sunday and the Monday. Now, it's not to say that people have a choice here. People have been left homeless. They've lost all their possessions. These are not people who have reserves, extra money saved somewhere. Do you think that the government is not acting soon enough to help people in your ward here in Kayamandi?
Well, soon enough is something that anyone would want to do. But to actually buy material, especially in that capacity, you need to follow right procedures. So as much as the disaster was declared as a provincial disaster by the Premier, so it was out of our hands as the municipality. So they followed their own process, of which we can't really, have a finger in it. And we expected them to deliver, and the national government has confirmed to be delivering tomorrow.
And please understand, I'm not pointing fingers at you. I'm not blaming you. I'm trying to understand what's happening here. When we talk about delivering materials, I also understand that there was a confusion with the list, that there were some people on that list who were not affected by the fire. Has that been resolved?
Yes. When we do a verification, people would come and register their names with the officials. Then we go back and see if that is actually an existing structure. So people who did not get their houses burnt down, were on the list because they registered. So one would stand on, because we asked people to stand on their plots. So people would allow a person who was not affected by fire to stand in his house on another room. So we wouldn't know as municipality because they have allowed that. But when they started to complain about it, we started to verify the list again, and the list went down. And we went to their community, to their street committees, and asked them, is this now the list that you are satisfied with? And they signed as street committees saying they are satisfied with the current list. So we're verified and they are satisfied as community.
Now I'm almost done, but I'm standing now on some plots. In fact, I mean, I can see the tiles of a shack or a home that was burnt down. I'm standing on a plot where a home has not been rebuilt. I'm looking around me, and some structures are still in the process of being built. And as we walk through the area, we can see some people are still rebuilding. In wrapping up, can you give me an idea of how many shacks or homes still need to be built out of the total that were destroyed?
The total is 212. I cannot give an actual number as to how many that are still needs to be rebuilt, because it's here, it's there, and we can't really count in as to how many. But what we know is that most people, especially in this area, it's either they're unemployed or they can't afford. That is why we were happy and we followed up with the national government when they said they are going to deliver. So when we followed up knowing very well that there are those that can't really rebuild their homes even after the 10 days has gone. So luckily tomorrow they are delivering, so we are happy about that.
Now, just this morning we saw the Deputy Minister of Home Affairs in Kayamandi. He was saying that he's helping people get their IDs. Now, of course, we know there's an election coming up. People need their IDs to vote. Why do you think, it's so quick for a minister to come to your neighborhood and say, I'm going to help you get an ID so that you can vote, but another ministerial department is not coming to say to people, I will make sure that you have a home to sleep in?
Well, we are the ones that have been in contact with the departments because we understood that people have lost their important documents, which includes IDs and birth certificates. So yes, the minister, Deputy Minister Nzuza, responded and say he's coming today to help and issue those that have been the applications that have been done and they printed their IDs. So we are happy about that. I wouldn't know why the other department took long. Maybe it might be because of the procurement policies in some of the departments. I really don't know, but we are happy that when we ask a department to come and assist the residents, they do come.
Thank you so much for your time. So that was the Ward Councillor in Kayamandi. I did put a request to the Human Settlements Department as well. I have not yet had any feedback from that department on why they're taking why it's taking long to get the materials here. I'll hand it back to you in the studio.